It's known as the wood of the gods and one of the most expensive trees in the world. A tree can cost up to 1.2 million pesos, and its byproducts are attracting huge markets inside and outside the Philippines. Meet Agarwood. In 2010, the market value of an agarwood tree, hidden primarily in the jungles of Mindanao, is worth 5 million pesos. Its aromatic resin is one of the most precious in the world, used as incense, perfume, medicine, and food ingredients. The DNR has tightened regulations in extracting agarwood to protect the tree from extinction. Since 2019, the department has already confiscated over 80 kilograms of illegally harvested agarwood chips, equivalent to more than 12 million pesos. The very first company allowed to import, propagate, and sell agarwood seedlings is United Agarwood Planters Incorporated, a subsidiary of Zambales-based Iba Botanicals. Iba Botanicals uses seedlings for essential oils and fragrances that have become a multi-million peso industry. Here we feature companies with earth-friendly initiatives, one story at a time. Welcome to Sustainability. Well, you know, 9 of the 21 known agarwood species are found in the Philippines, and 6 of them are endemic to the country. One is Aquilaria malacensis, known as lapnisan, which is a major source of agarwood. To discuss more about this precious tree and the company built from it is Benjamin or Benjamin. Just like Magalong. We're not quite sure. It's Ben Mead. He's the founder and CEO of Iba Botanicals. Good evening, Ben. Welcome to the show. Well, let's begin from Iba Botanicals before we go into agarwood. How did you begin?
So I'm an Australian, but I've been here in the Philippines since 2015.
Okay.
And so initially I came here for non-agri related business, was investing in power and some other opportunities, but quite quickly saw the potential for agriculture in the Philippines, particularly in global markets, and when we highlight these premium qualities. And so we've been able to build a business of developing plantations and producing these high-value botanical extracts that are then marketed into Europe, into the US, and used for fine fragrance and other consumer goods.
Ilang-ilang, you export vetiver elemi.
Yes.
Yeah, thank goodness that there's a Filipino company doing it.
Yes.
Because otherwise they would not have known that ilang-ilang is actually the best ilang-ilang, right, Ben?
Correct. So ilang-ilang is from the Philippines, but unfortunately in the 1940s, the industry moved to Madagascar.
Yeah.
And so today most of the production is offshore. So we've reintroduced the production of ilang-ilang in its native land. So we're planting primarily in Zambales. So when you drive to the farm in Zambales, you actually see it growing in the wild along the side of the road. And fortunately, the quality of the ilang-ilang that we produce, just like wine, if you take the same grapevine from France to Napa in California, it'll give you a different perspective. The ilang-ilang that we produce in the Philippines from the same tree that is also now growing in Madagascar produces an exceptional quality oil.
Really? You mean it's the same tree?
It's the same species, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So it's not only endemic to the Philippines?
No, my understanding is that the seeds were taken and transferred to Madagascar. So, yes, so it's the same species but grown in a different environment. So
But they don't have the laharter.
What's the edge of Philippine ilang-ilang over the Madagascar one? Yeah.
So I find it's not just ilang-ilang, it's all the botanicals that we produce. The quality from the Philippines tends to be better, and I think that's a function of the soil and the climate and things like this. So it's very exciting because to have something that's truly Filipino and marketed as a Filipino ingredient to be the best in the world is exciting for the country, and it's a very exciting opportunity for the company as well. So today,
and livelihood for Filipinos. Let's not forget.
Very much.
Potential to earn more from agriculture.
Absolutely, and so. We have, as you mentioned, we have a number of botanicals that we work in a number of different ways. For some of them, we partner with indigenous communities. So we're working with hundreds of indigenous Aita IPs in Zambales. In Bukidnon, we're also working with the indigenous as well. And then we also have a way that we can work with everyday Filipinos, particularly with Agarwood, people who want to invest in agriculture. They want to put their land to good use, but growing a conventional food crop or something like that has some pretty unique challenges.
Yeah. So let's now go to Agarwood, because the potential, you know, I was talking millions just earlier.
Sure.
Tell us, because it's become like a lechon manok thing. When you go outside Manila, you'll see people selling Agarwood seedlings.
Yes.
So why is there a mad rush to plant this, and why should they plant with you instead?
Sure. So Agarwood is the highest value agricultural agroforestry product that you can plant and sell into the market. We were the first company to get the license to do legal plantations of Agarwood. It's a critically endangered species because the value can be so high in the wild. So in the wild, this tree has a unique characteristic that in response to stress or injury, it starts to produce this heartwood. In some rare cases, it can be worth $100,000 per kilo. So people hear about this every time they find a tree, they'll cut it down. Yeah, absolutely. So
that's why it's an endangered.
Yes. Because it's only a very small percentage of trees that have this in the wild. So in 1995, the tree was placed on the endangered species list. And since that time, you can't trade Agarwood cross-border. You can't import and export without a special license. And that license says, okay, this is an endangered species, but it comes from a legal source. It's not smuggled, it's not poached.
And you have this license.
We have it. So we were the first company to get this in late 2021. There are other countries in Asia that have more mature Agarwood plantation industries because they got their policies in place sooner than the DNR. But we were the first company to get this. And so today we have extensive plantations and continuing to grow very strongly. We have planters in about 20 provinces of the Philippines. And then in Bukidnon, down in Mindanao, we have some very large plantations.
How many hectares are we talking about, Ben? Just to give everyone a perspective.
We're so excited, we're competing for questions.
Because this is a really good perfume ingredient, right? It sells like oud. And it's like in the most not just like all perfume is expensive, but there's like expensive. Like the Nepo babies, perhaps they know what this is. But hectares?
Today, probably 250 hectares planted, but ongoing. Our largest plantation is in Bukidnon. So this is 116 hectares that we're continuing to plant out. We're planning to scale to around 300 to 500 hectares per year is the plan.
That's a lot.
Yeah, the secret to Agarwood, people think, okay, I get this seedling, I plant it, I'll turn around and in 6 or 7 years I'll become a millionaire. It's not that simple. Okay. It's important to grow it well. It's important to have a legal seedling as a starting point. Grow it well, but also the way you trigger the tree to produce the oud is really the key. And so
you have to hurt the tree.
You do have to hurt the tree a little bit, but it smells amazing. So. And then finally, the connection to the market. So we have all of that.
Because you're already exporting.
Correct.
You have a reputation and connections with the market.
Correct. And we're also focused on absolute best practices. So I'm focused on producing the best quality botanicals that I can with the best supply chain, traceability, inclusive development, and all of these things. So when you offer this into the international market with a product that they really want, like Agarwood, there comes a very strong demand. So
they're just waiting for your trees to mature.
Soon, yeah.
How old are these trees?
Yeah, like the turnover is how long? For example, you plant it today. How long before you can, start to hurt the tree and extract the wood?
So the key is getting the tree to a certain size before it's called inoculating the tree. So you're essentially mimicking what happens in nature when insects burrow inside the tree, or the tree, gets
the tree's protecting itself.
That's how it protects itself, is by producing the oud. And so it's really about getting the trunk of the tree to about 20 centimeters in diameter. So depending on where you plant the tree, it'll get there faster. You can plant this tree just about anywhere, but if you grow it in an environment where it's hotter or less rainfall, more intense sunlight, things like that, it'll grow a bit more slowly. So one of the reasons why we favor Bukidnon is because it rains every day, the soil is amazing, we have altitude, and it's just a really
all the conditions are,
it's a very conducive,
are good. Now, those with farmland or those who want to invest can do so with United Agarwood, right?
Yes.
How do they do that, and why with you?
Sure. So you mentioned earlier about lechon manok and the phrase on Agarwood, and no, I understand it very well, because since we
buy it on Lazada and Shopee.
Yes.
I mean, online platforms.
You can, and the challenge is it starts and ends with legal seedlings. So you're not allowed to collect seedlings from the wild because of critically endangered species.
So those who are selling are maybe.
I'm not saying in all cases, but it's really this is the absolute key, because if you don't have the legal seedlings with the right documentation, you can do all of that hard work, you can be successful, but then you won't be able to export your agarwood. So it really starts with that, but it's not just about that. It's also knowing how to grow it. So we have PhDs in agarwood production on our staff. We have foresters who've worked in Thailand and in Malaysia who really know it. But the third one is the technology you use to inoculate the tree, to stimulate the production of the oud. And so we've licensed the technology that was developed in Malaysia by the University of Malaysia. It's the world's best technology. It produces a quality that's on par with the wild quality. And so what that means is that we know it's also been validated by some of the largest buyers of agarwood in the world. So people make money, the lechon manok followers make money by selling seedlings that may have questionable origin and by selling inoculants that are not necessarily proven. So it's important to focus on absolute best practices and the end point, which is producing the best quality agarwood that you can.
And so that we can brag about Philippine agarwood is the best in the world.
And what's really interesting to know, actually, I'm told that in the global market, whilst there's no legal Philippines agarwood yet to be exported, there are other agarwoods, from grey areas and black market. But the Philippines agarwood is the most sought after. That's the one that fetches the highest price.
Like more than Malaysia, where it kind of came from, and they've probably made it into a national industry type of thing.
Yeah, the wild Philippines agarwood, I'm told, is the one that fetches the highest price.
So, okay.
Have you copied kind of like the quality of, have you ever smelled the in the wild oud, and how does your product compare to it?
Yeah, but more than the scent, one of the reasons why we've licensed this technology from the University of Malaysia is they've analysed the wild agarwood. So they had a special license from the government. They analysed the wild agarwood, the best quality agarwood, and they identified the chemical compounds in the agarwood that give it its premium quality. And then they've, over a period of time, adjusted the inoculation technology to mimic the wild quality, so that today, when you use this inoculant, when you harvest the tree, if you don't tell the buyer this is from a plantation, they can't tell the difference. And so that's very, very exciting. So the ability to do it at scale, legally, and in a sustainable and inclusive way is super
What
exciting.
you're doing is protecting those that are in the wild. I don't believe that only 80 kilos were confiscated. Come on.
I think it's more than that.
More than that.
Yeah, I think it's more than that.
Yeah. So this will help stop.
We hope so.
Hopefully.
We certainly hope so.
Yeah.
We hope so. Human nature is we hope so.
Okay. But will only Filipinos who have big tracts of land and money to invest, will they be the only ones to benefit, or how can an ordinary agricultural small holder farm benefit?
Absolutely. Because of the interest in agarwood, we wanted to structure our operations in a way that didn't just include the big landholders that had the funds to do the large-scale plantation development. And what we have is an offering on our plantation in Bukidnon, where if people want to plant and they don't have the land or the capacity, or they don't want to manage the labour and manage all of the business, we will plant it for them on their behalf. So the trees are geotagged, so every tree is identified with the owner. It's still owned entirely by the planter, so they make all the decisions. They choose when to inoculate. They don't even have to use our inoculant if they want to go and try something else. But it's designed to essentially, whether it's a private landholder for 5 hectares and above, or in Bukidnon, we can do as few as 125 seedlings.
How much is one?
How much is one?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Bakas na lang.
So the approximate cost for the full life cycle of growing the tree is give or take 6,000 or 6,500 pesos. So that's everything. That's the seedling cost, includes a mortality guarantee. So if the tree dies for any reason, we give a free seedling.
It has life insurance.
It has life insurance, yeah.
And then
the inoculation and the harvesting. So approximately 6 or 6.5, and then the numbers that I work on are conservative, and I would be expecting to yield at least 2 kilos per tree at around 100,000 pesos per kilo. So say 200,000 per tree from a cost of 6.5. To be honest, I think we'll exceed those numbers, but those numbers provide a very attractive return, and I think the testament to that is the strong engagement that we're seeing. I mean, we're seeing people from all over the Philippines, OFWs. There's a lot of excitement in what
Sabi ko nga, parang lechon manok. But will there come a time that there will be an oversupply? Because everybody seems to want to enter into this.
Sure. That's a question I get asked a lot. I've never lost a night's sleep worrying about oversupply. We have one partner, a buyer in the Middle East, who's told us that if we plant 1,000 hectares per year, they can take everything. I don't expect to get to the point of planting that many. I think a sustainable number is probably somewhere between 300 and 500 hectares per year. And
this is a buyer who's already getting ilang-ilang and LME and all these others aromatics from you.
And one of the largest buyers of Agarwood in the world. So this is this is a very large buyer. The important thing is that by doing it at scale and consistently, so whether it's us growing it or whether it's you growing it on your land, by offering consistent high quality regularly, we can command a premium in the market for the Agarwood that we produce.
Yes, I love it. So much promise.
Yeah. Finally, Ben, what does this mean for our agriculture industry that's really needing a shot in the arm? So yeah.
So I think botanicals in general provides a really exciting opportunity for the Philippines. We've been able to, as the pioneer of this not just Agarwood, but botanicals, we've been able to establish the Philippines as a credible and exciting new origin. And so I think that continuing to develop botanicals from the Philippines in a sustainable way is a really, it's a ray of hope for the country.
Yeah.
And so, every day I go to work, I can't believe that I get to do this for a job. It's so enjoyable.
Finally we'll be achieving our potential,
Absolutely.
As a botanical supplier and destination.
Why has no one thought of this before Ben?
You need scale.
Sometimes it takes a foreign perspective with a local knowledge to put it together. So I've been here for 10 years, so I've begun to understand the Philippines, but I have this perspective. So all I would say in closing is that if anybody's interested to plant Agarwood, United Agarwood Planters is our Facebook page, and then also at AgriLink at the start of October 2 to 4, we'll also be there as well. So if anybody wants to learn more, it's at the World Trade Center.
Okay. Okay. Lechon manok.
The new lechon manok.
No. Anyway, thank you, Ben. Ben Mead is the founder and CEO of Iba Botanicals.